All right. Welcome to a new episode of Werewolves in London. Um, Tonight, our scene is set on the Sept of the Hunter's Dale. It's yet another quiet evening. The mist hanging over the ground, hanging quite low to the ground. In fact, as the members of the Sept go about their evening routine, there's obviously the ever-present clash of blade and claw, coming from the training grounds. If you pass by the Tale Singers Hall, you would hear the songs and chants coming from inside and the laughs of kinfolk and Garou alike who are enthralled by the galliards practicing their craft. There's ever so often the sound of a small explosion as the Ragabash get up to their tricks, we'll call them. However, tonight we are centering in on the Incept housing, where Cole here is just going about his business as usual. And I'll let you introduce what Cole is doing from there.
Cole typically starts his mornings on the earlier side. He gets up and likes to specifically start out with jogging and doing cardio type exercises, and after which he spends most of his time on the training ground. He's a very focused individual with a lot of with a lot to prove.
Okay. Um, as you're going about your usual routine, you do notice that the atmosphere on the Sept seems a little colder than the last couple of days. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something's changed. And if you'd like to make a perception empathy roll in general, just for kind of observing the emotions of those around you, you might be able to pinpoint some more information out of it.
Absolutely. Let me look at that pool really quick. Not the best.
You're an Arvin. What do you need empathy for?
Exactly. All right, so just dice rolling in House of Cards, yes?
That works, as long as I can see it.
Alrighty, less than or equal to 6F1. Shit. Seen nothing.
That is not a botch, though, which is good. So, maybe Cole's a little too focused on his, jogging, or maybe he just simply doesn't care. Not really anything he can pick up other than just something's changed on the Sept, very noticeably. So yeah. You can narrate anything else you'd like him to do, or we can go on to the plot. Up to you. If you want to get some stuff done in scene.
In regards to things, to the air of the Sept being colder and different, if Cole feels it, he definitely he takes a look around at the way people are acting, maybe things they're saying, and nothing really stands out, and it's prodding, but vaguely. He's a better he's better at getting his point across than understanding other people's points of view. So the surroundings bug him in a way that he has difficulty expressing, and tries to focus on his physical activities.
Okay. As you jog, are you just doing like a circuit around the Sept grounds, or is there a specific route he goes when he jogs?
Just around the Sept grounds, preferably not out where he can be an example to everyone. He's not trying to show off. He's just trying to be functional.
I gotcha. As you pass along the edge of this, the outside of the Sept doing your jogging, you pass by the area that the Thayers use for their training, and it's from the outside, all you can see is this big, like, maybe story tall dome of overgrown brambles and various other types of flora that are overgrown over what the training grounds that the Thayerges use. And he can hear this sort of mystic chanting coming from inside as he passes.
Hmm. Cole thinks to himself, this is not my business, but I'm curious. Maybe this chanting has to do with why everyone is so weird. Or perhaps someone in there can explain. And curiously, he'll is it a tent or a wooden structure?
It's literally a just it seems almost like a natural formation of the brambles and other flora growing into this dome shape. However, if he walks around, there is a entrance at the front that has like a vine, almost sort of curtain coming down over the entrance.
Um, yeah, he'll very cautiously, respectfully, um, push push the vine hangings to the side uh, a bit, and again cautiously and slowly, um, and takes a single foot step inside.
Okay. Inside, the air smells very, very surprisingly clean, you know, for a structure where you imagine there's at any time 10 to 15 people working in close proximity inside of it. It's very, very dark, but enough that you can see the light coming in from the holes and like the bramble netting and such. And it creates this very gloomy atmosphere inside the dome. And inside of the dome itself, in the very center, is a tent. It's just a tent that's maybe a bit larger than the average tent, where you can see silhouette. Obviously, there's a fire inside, and you can see figures silhouetted against the canvas. There is no one else on the outside of the tent. Everybody appears to be inside the tent, and that is where you can hear the chanting come from.
Does Cole recognize any of the figures?
Um, I'm gonna say he might recognize like one or two of the voices. Um, they're just some younger Thayerges that he would have spoken to on set. Nobody really noteworthy. Maybe a couple of the Cubs who are Thayerges even.
Anyone higher in station?
Um, he would recognize the voice. I have to go and look up her name because I don't actually know these NPCs yet. The name, one of the voices is that of the Rights Master, Elva Oscolide, I think is how you say that. You would know her though as Recalls the Circle Raya. You can hear her voice coming from inside the tent.
And yeah, he won't seek to disturb, only to observe. So he'll definitely keep his distance until the chanting stops or the figures stop dancing. But he will try to observe silently.
So after maybe 10 minutes of chanting, see the light in the tent dim, and people start filing out of it. Most are in Hamid. There's one or two that appear to have shifted up into Glabro, but they are in the process of shifting back down to Hamid as they walk out of the tent. Some of them wave to Cole. They're the ones that he would have spoken to, the younger Thayerges. One or two of the Cubs are coming out of the tent as well, and they appear kind of overwhelmed. Like you can tell just from looking at them that they did something that they weren't prepared for. And this woman steps out to meet Cole. Just walks up. Now, she doesn't have a particularly threatening air, but she has a very quiet sort of presence around her.
as she gets closer, Cole will immediately motion to bend the knee and lower his head.
And she will just nod, so show that she is acknowledged him, and then just gesture for him to stand up.
You will.
What brings you to our training grounds, young Arun?
I heard the chanting, and I must admit my curiosity got the best of me. There's something about the sept lately. I come looking for answers.
And she nods. She says, "It is very good to see that one of the full moon seeks to learn as well as to destroy. Walk with me, if you will." And she starts walking out the dome.
And yep, Cole will walk at her pace at her side.
Right. She's not going particularly fast. She seems to be going at a pretty leisurely pace. She says, "The sept has had some issues, I would say. I assume you were at the moot recently."
Yes, I was.
"And that means you would have seen the young Shadow Lord who decided to make a fool of himself in front of the entire moot.
I did, Raya.
Unfortunately, it appears that he has been speaking to others. I have not yet heard anyone in my vicinity dare to say anything, but from what I've heard from some of the cubs, the sentiment appears to be spreading that the Alpha is favoring women over men and has a distrust of the Shadow Lord tribe. I believe that the cubs were saying how it was being phrased. And that is perhaps why. Sorry.
Yes, I believe that's pretty accurate based on what happened. Well, not that his claims were accurate, but you know what I mean.
And she nods. She says, "From what I understand, a messenger arrived this morning carrying word of a high-ranking guru who is to be arriving soon. This arrival appeared to come with some sort of mystic power." And she kind of gestures at the air. "We were attempting a rite to contact a spirit to see if one of the spirits could perhaps enlighten us on what the purpose of this mystic power attached to the note was."
This is powerful individual, Garu.
From what I understand, yes. I was not present in the meeting when the Alpha read the letter. That was between herself and the warder, but from what I believe they are Garu, yes.
Hmm. So this newcomer has everyone nervous then?
I think so. You didn't hear it from me. And she kind of gives him a bit of a wink and continues. But the Alpha, I think, feels a little threatened that someone would approach and send such an ostentatious display of power with them, with their messenger. Seems almost like a bid to outshine her on her own sept, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Was there anything I could do to assist, maybe in this rite? Not very well versed in the ways of spirits.
She thinks for a moment and she says, "I don't think there's anything with the right that you could assist with, although I thank you for your very kind offer. However, We are running low on a number of medicinal herbs that we usually gather. With the upcoming arrival, not many guru were able to be spared to go out and gather them. I know it's a bit of a weird job to ask you to go on, but it would be a great help if you could.
It would be my pleasure, Raya.
And she'll nod and she'll say, It's a weird time. We just are preparing for the arrival of a mysterious Garu who evidently has a big head, I would say. If you could just keep an eye out for anything unusual happening on the sept and bring any word of it back to me, that would be great. That would be a great help indeed.
Yes, Raya. And these herbs you'd like me to collect, what can you tell me of them?
And she'll nod and she'll say, they grow close to the ground. They're not really anything that you would think would be particularly special. They're not brightly colored or anything like that. They're just long stems. They creep along the ground like a vine, but they have very small white flowers that grow on them. They grow maybe 2 miles north of the sept usually. You can usually find them if you go due north. I will bring you a sample of what little we have so that you may get the scent.
I thank you.
And she'll nod and she'll say, is there any other assistance that you need? The area is relatively safe. It's just a little far, so you shouldn't run into any trouble.
As far as assistance go, I think I can handle my own quite well. Although I appreciate the offer, Raya.
And she will nod and smile and say, I will be right back then with the herb sample. And she'll walk off. And it'll be a little bit before she comes back with a sample of the herbs.
Is it a pot leaf?
It's not.
Damn.
But it does have a very distinctive scent that Cole can very easily memorize. I would say it smells something like citrus, but a little more sour.
Pungent. Ripe. And if his Raya has nothing further to add, he'll head off northbound in the aforementioned direction.
Great. It's a cold morning as Cole is running. I assume he's in Lupus traveling form? Or would he be traveling in Hamid?
He'd be traveling in Hamid because in order to collect them, he'd need his pockets.
That's fair. But as he jogs north, it's a cool morning. There is a bit of mist on the ground, and he passes out of the forest that the sept itself is in. There's a pretty big clearing that he passes through. Make a perception alertness check as you go through this as you jog through this clearing, please.
Excellent. Difficulty 6.
Yes, difficulty 6.
Alrighty. 5, 8, 10, 1. It's another fail.
Oh.
What a roll today. Would you allow me to re-roll at a higher diff?
Yes, reroll at +1 diff.
Thank you, sir. Equal to 7 1. Hey, 2 successes.
All right. So he doesn't notice it as he's running through it. It's when he's closer to the edge of the clearing where he's about to go back in the forest that he happens to catch out of the corner of his eye a very like noticeable scarlet splash across one of the trees at the edge of the clearing. Almost like it's the color of blood but brighter.
So yeah, Cole, as he's charging ahead, hesitates. Um, the expression that he changes to would be much similar to a lupus perking their ears up and pointing in the source of danger, but instead it's more like like his scalp visibly recedes, and maybe his pupils dilate a bit as he begins heading towards this color.
So as he gets closer, he can see that it is very certainly blood splashed across the trunk of the tree. There's some on the ground, but it looks like whatever whatever this blood came from didn't stay around to bleed.
Cole's gonna look for a trail of blood, and he's gonna smell the blood left over.
Okay. Make a perception primal urge for smelling the blood, and then either a primal urge roll or a survival roll to track it, your choice.
I'll go perception primal urge for both. Both at difficulty 6.
Both are standard, yes.
10, 2, 6, except for 1. So I'll go with the smelling first.
Okay.
And that is 4 successes.
So with 4 successes, something about the smell of this blood, it, kind of your inner wolf awakens and roars into, into more prominence at it, almost like in defiance of something. It's very hard to describe. Your primal instincts are kind of more angry, and you want to punch something right now at the scent of this blood.
So yeah, he'll grimace and bare his teeth at it, and then seek to find a track in the source.
Okay.
Perception primal urge. 1 success.
All right. With 1 success, you are able to find a trail leading off into the woods. It's kind of spotty, like whatever it was running very fast, and so the drops of blood are kind of very what's the word I'm looking for? They're spaced apart. But he's able to follow it. He might lose it temporarily, but every time he's able to find another drop to get him back on the trail. The trail goes for maybe a 45-minute walk or run northwest, and the last spots of blood that you find are underneath a large, let's go with a spruce tree. They're under a large spruce tree, and you can see there's a hill nearby in the forest. It is in the middle of the forest. There's a hill nearby, but that is where the blood stops. You will notice as you got close to this part of the forest, like the bird calls got less frequent. A lot of the natural busy sounds of the forest quieted down as you entered this area.
Where the blood trail stops, Cole's gonna try to peek across the gauntlet.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Gnosis. The gauntlet here would be difficulty 4.
Alrighty. 2, 4, crossed. 3 successes. There we go.
All right. So as he peeks across into the umbra, he sees, of course, the nature spirits that would be in this forest. There are surprisingly few animal spirits. and there are a lot of hunger banes around, he would notice, some of which are clashing with some of the Gaian spirits, as they always are, obviously, in the Umbra. But these ones, the hunger banes, appear to be accumulated around the hill's equivalent in the Umbra. And they almost seem like they're defending it against the Gaian spirits.
Okay. I don't know how you rule how long he can peek across the gauntlet. But if he can maintain it with his 3 successes while approaching the hill, he's going to keep looking across and approaching the hill cautiously.
I'm fine with that. As he approaches, the hunger banes, the Gaian spirits kind of renew their assault on these hunger banes, and he can see like the fighting is quite vicious in the spirit world. As he approaches the hill, and when is he going? Is he just coming up to the hill, or is he going on top of it?
He'll come up to it, and if there's no immediate interaction, he'll approach the top of it.
Okay, there's no reaction as he approaches. So when he climbs to the top, he would see that on the other side of the hill from him, it kind of hollows out, and there appears to be a cave that burrows downward.
And I assume around this time his vision across the gauntlet fizzles, or is he still looking across?
At about the time that he reaches the top of the hill, it'll go out. Yes.
Okay. Ooh, that was a neat sound.
Sorry, my knee hit the table. I'm sorry about that.
All right, you're good. I meant it earnestly. It is a neat sound. But, yeah. Against his better senses of the lone wolf doesn't survive the winter. He'll cautiously make his way into the cave. At the mouth of it, given the area, does this seem like the kind of area where people would typically go? Like, is this like any semblance of a trail or civilization nearby?
Not immediately within sight. There doesn't appear to be any trail or anything like that would have hikers come through here. Although you can obviously, assume that there are those people that like to go out in the middle of the forest for their hikes. So it's possible, but it's not likely.
He'll take the time to shift up to, let's say, Glabro for now.
All right. So as you approach the entrance, you can see that it goes for a little bit, like maybe 5 feet or so, and then dips sharply. Not straight down, but at a steep angle downward. And so the light goes obviously to about where it starts going down, and then you can't see anymore. It does appear to have been like clawed out. Like, it doesn't look like this was a man-made or natural cave. It looks like this was clawed out of the ground. Yes, that is what Cole sees.
Unfortunately, he did not come equipped with a flashlight. Nor does he have any supernatural sense of vision.
Let me go look at your sheet. It is about late morning at this point, so the sun is starting to come up a bit stronger. But it's not, obviously, since it's going downward, it can't penetrate into the tunnel itself.
Uh, can he tell vaguely how much further in it goes, or
This is the times when I wish that the other games had intuition. Um,
I do have common sense. That helps.
that does help with common sense. Anything is this since this looks like it was hand carved, for lack of a better word, it probably isn't going to go down too far because that would be a lot of energy for something to spend. So it's probably not a super deep tunnel.
Yeah, he'll proceed a tad further into the darkness. Though not outside, not too far outside, being able to see the light.
All right. So as he gets closer, um, he can smell there's the scent of dried blood, excrement, um, and there's not really he doesn't hear anything like he doesn't hear any sounds like something breathing in the darkness or anything. But he can see where he is a bit closer. The tunnel appears, as best he can tell with the very faint light that he gets, it appears to go down like 5 feet sharply and then almost pool out into a like hollow like room sort of arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, yeah, that's what he sees.
See something real quick. So knowing that he's reached a large chamber and um, hasn't prepared any light, um, he's going to go make some, and if you'll allow it, Cole will venture out of the cave to um, gather some twigs and sticks, um, the driest ones that he can, to try and build a small fire, um, sort of where he ended up at last, at the mouth of the it sounds sort of like an open chamber, like it opened into a chamber. So
Yeah.
about there.
Okay, go ahead and roll a diff for survival roll. Let's go. I'm trying to think of what would work for this. Let's go with wit survival.
Would survive? Absolutely. Alright, so roll 60, 10 at difficulty 4. 2 successes.
Yep. So it takes them maybe 10 minutes or so to gather all the material, all the dry twigs and stuff, and pile them at the mouth of the chamber and start a fire. But he does manage to start a fire. Obviously, it's to bank it up and everything. Blow on it once it gets going, keep it alive. But what the fire reveals is that the chamber, it appears to be just a very small, maybe 10 feet in diameter, 6 feet high, just little room with bones littering it. Most of them look gnawed on, just from first glance. There is a pile of like moss in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And in the direct back, what would be like directly back from the entrance, there is a large bloody area with a deer, with about 90% eaten deer carcass on it.
He's gonna grab a stick and poke the deer.
The deer, its leg twitches when he moves. Or when he pokes it, I'm sorry. I got my words mixed up.
Hmm. Shit, I don't even have medicine. Ah. He also doesn't have spirit speech. Yeah, he'll assume that this poor thing needs to be put out of its misery.
So, how is he gonna put it out of his misery? He's just gonna claw it. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, I'll hmm. Glabber doesn't come equipped with claws, so he'll he'll shift he'll shift up to all the way up to Lupus, and then aim to snap its neck with his teeth.
Okay. So he's able to do this without much real effort. And as he snaps the deer's teeth, he just kind of feels this chill go through the air, almost like something passed through him. And then the deer carcass stops twitching.
Hmm. Um, he'll from here he'll take another look around the room, and we'll investigate the piles of moss.
Okay. Are you trying to go for like a really in-depth sort of investigation, or just kind of nosing through it, seeing if you can find anything in there?
I think I think preliminary he'd start nosing around, and if there was anything that seemed out of the ordinary, he might look a little harder.
Okay, as he's nosing around, he doesn't really find anything too unusual. Although at one point he does, his nose does hit something that feels a lot softer than the moss around it.
Oh, going for that in depth.
Okay, so it's fairly easy to pull out with his teeth or whatever he wants to do. But it's fairly easy to get out of the moss pile, and it's a scrap of what appears to have been a like hiking shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Just torn. It's just maybe the size of a hand is all that's left that was in this moss.
Did you say that there was anything else other than the deer and the moss?
There was just bones littered across the floor. There wasn't anything else here. The fabric is a little faded, like it's been here a while.
Yeah, from here, Cole will
Make as he's in there, make a perception alertness, please.
Shit. Standard diff.
Standard difficulty.
Alrighty.
Actually, you're in Lupus, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
That's -2.
-2. Oh yeah, I'm never really playing Lupus a whole lot. Big fan of the Homins. 3 successes.
All right, with 3 successes, as he is kind of looking at this scrap of cloth, he catches the very distinctive pungent scent of those herbs wafting in with the breeze.
Yeah, he'll point his eyes back at the entrance and motion to hug the wall, put his back against it.
Okay. I just need to roll something really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be in the right Discord for that first.
Pull his ears back and bare his teeth, preparing for a fight.
Okay. All right. So is he going to make his way out of the cave like this? Kind of ready for a fight, hugging the wall?
Yeah, and if he doesn't see anything like up to the light, he might go back to wrap the hand in the cloth and carry the cloth in his teeth. If he can. That sounds a bit difficult for a Lupus.
Hmm. Um, he would be able to go back and grab the cloth. We wouldn't be able to wrap anything in it because he does not see anything when he goes up to the light.
Okay. Yeah, he'll grab the cloth in his mouth and yeah. Um First he'll piss out the fire.
Okay.
Yeah. He can't really fully dispose of it at this rate, but um he can at least piss it out.
Hey, whatever works.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
And then does he exit from there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as he exits the cave, he hears this high pitched and then he feels something slam into his back, and it is time to roll initiative.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my god. 10 plus current form
Oh,
stats.
no, I rolled that wrong. Okay, you rolled high anyways.
Mm.
16. Okay.
Oh, I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, and I was rolling for the NPC.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Plus 9. Oh,
Okay.
max initiative. Max.
Get it. All right, so Cole is going first at initiative 19. The monster is going at 16. So it is start of action. You get a rage for entering combat.
What does he see?
As he, almost reflexively turns, as the initiative, as add a character to the initiative, as he kind of reflexively turns to look, he sees this blur of green, with teeth and very large antlers. As he, obviously goes into our rune mode.
Yee, buddy.
Okay, so would you like to spend any rage top of the round?
Top of the round, yes. I'd like to spend 2 rage. Let me go ahead and notate that.
And I also have it notated on my SD screen. So hopefully neither of us should forget it.
Yep. He's gonna spend 2 rage. Since he is in a lupus, it would be stupid to activate Razor Claws. He's just gonna go for a bite attack on it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a bite attack.
Alrighty, it is gonna be Dex is 6 in this form. Isn't there a reduction in difficulty for biting in lupus?
I believe it's just standard 5 for lupus and hispo.
5. Okay. Oh, lupus and hispo is 5.
Yes.
Okay. 4 successes on a bite.
All right. It is not dodging because it is full on rage mode. Nom mode. So go ahead and roll damage.
Right, so that is going to be. Let me update this. This new strength. Is 4 in lupus. So 4 plus that. 70, 10, 72, 6 F1. Do ones cancel out damage in this venue?
Not damage or soaking.
Damage or soak, that's right. It's equal to 6 then. 4. Soak 4, I believe it's lethal and not ag, or is it?
It is ag in lupus if you're Hamid. I remember this because I was in a scene as a cub where 2 cubs were sparring, and they were Hamid sparring in lupus, and one cub almost died because it did ag.
Oh no!
It takes 2 as your teeth rip into this creature that is attacking you. It tastes very foul, corrupted. Like even you actually do have sense worm as the sept totem. It gives you sense worm for free. And that doesn't really turn on, but you can kind of with the power of that gift, what worm taint tastes and feels like. This creature's reeking of it.
Oh, you motherfucker.
And it is the creature's turn. It is going to just savagely bite at Cole. its teeth, are long and curled. They seem almost deformed, but they're no less effective in biting.
Okay.
It's 3 to hit. You're gonna spend one of your rage actions to attempt to dodge.
I think I will.
Okay.
It's gonna be Dex Athletics. 7, 8. Roll 8d10 less than or equal to 6f1. Fuck.
Okay.
Does lightning reflexes come into play?
I'm gonna say for this it would.
It would. Then that's 2 successes.
Okay, I was thinking there was a 1 in there. It was the 1 success part that was tripping me up. I'm like,
Yeah.
like the way they placed that, it was confusing the fuck out of me. So he doesn't get rollover, which is good. Soak 3 ag, please, as its jaws rip into you.
Let me look here. It is stamina 5 and lupus. Oh, yeah, he soaks it.
Okay, and then make an additional stamina roll for me, please.
Fuck. Nasty worm pain. I see you over there. Another 4.
You're good. So this creature bites into Cole's shoulder, but he's able to, yank his shoulder out of the way before it can bite down fully. So it just scrapes the fur of his shoulder, and it is onto his rage action.
Rage action. He is going to go for another bite.
Go for it.
10 less than or equal to 5f1. That is 5, 6, 7 successes because 10s explode.
Yep. You go ahead and roll that damage. You cannot dodge.
So that's going to be 6 plus strength. Strength and lupus is currently 4. So that's 10d10 less than or equal to 6. Oh my god! Look at that!
You gotta love the storyteller system, right?
Jeez! Oh, suck it! Suck it!
That's beautiful. I've never seen a better representation of the storyteller system. I'll be real. There's massive dice pools and rolling 1, 2 successes. All right, top of the round. Would you like to spend any rage this round, I should say?
Yeah, he'll spend another 2.
All right.
May I reflexively make a I believe there's a roll to shift forms.
Reflexively. It is a stamina and primal urge roll. There it is.
Stamina, primal urge.
And what shape are you going to?
Just gonna bulk up to Hispo.
Okay, Hispo, it is difficulty 7 to roll to, and you only need 1 success.
Absolutely. So that's gonna be 70. Hang on, let me look at the yeah, because it's actually it'd be 8 because of the form stats. 8d10 to 7f1. He makes it.
Yes. So as he turns, he just kind of bulks up. It almost looks like he's fluffing up into Hispo, except a lot deadlier, obviously.
And that is reflexive, right? That doesn't take up the action?
I believe it is. We'll run it that way for now, and I'll check it after the scene.
Okay. At this point, you'll make the attack, the bite.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
So dex is still the same, so the pool is still 10d10 at if 5. That is 4 successes, no 10, so nothing explodes.
It is going to attempt to dodge. Because, ow, that last bite you did hurt. It's no likes things that hurt.
I hurt just for 1. Are
Hey,
you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
look at those ones though, or those tens, I should say.
Oh my gosh.
So that takes it to your first rage action.
Alrighty. I'm gonna try and bite it again.
Go for it.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, just it's 4 again.
Okay, it cannot dodge this time.
Back to square one.
Right?
So it's 3 plus strength. I have more strength than his bow now, though. So that is 90, 10. Listen, equal to 6. 4. So 4 ag. JK, please don't.
I mean, I'm just gonna say I have a very bad track record with my NPCs soaking amazingly. I'm very glad this isn't going that way. Like, it's been bad sometimes. You're on your second rage action.
Yep. Bite again.
Okay, go for it. Remember, in his spell, you get the +1 to bite damage.
Oh shit! I've been doing that.
I just remember that you said you don't usually fight in his spell, so I want to make sure I said something.
Do you want me to roll the additional D10 for the last round?
It'll be fine. You can roll it on this one, just because then it comes into if you do more damage, he has to roll. Like it'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So 6 on this bite. So 5 plus 1 is 6 plus strength is 12.
Yes, this is why Hispo is so good. You get them bites, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah, but bigger pool means worse odds.
Right?
Not bad. 6. Soak 6.
Let's see if it can. Okay, it takes 2 more. So, as you're savaging this creature's hide, tearing literal chunks out of it, its flesh, you notice, like when you tear a chunk out, like the flesh as it revolves, the part that was inside of it is sizzling in contact with the air as it lands on the ground, and its blood is this black, viscous fluid that drips out of its wounds as it roars at you.
Cole's very specifically letting it drool out of his mouth. He does not swallow.
Okay. That takes us to the top of the round. Would you like to spend any rage?
I am down to 3. I'll spend 1 rage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bite it again.
Okay.
Look at those 10s. Yes. So that is 6. 6 successes total.
You're good to roll damage. He's not going to attempt to dodge. He's trying to be all sneaky.
All right, so that is that's going to be 12 again.
Okay. Watch you get like 2 successes this time.
5.
Good. You're breaking the curse. All right, let's see if it soaks it. It takes 1.
So it's on 6 at least. Getting there.
It had extra health levels because it is nasty. It's basically a femori.
Oh fuck me.
Yes, it's kind of nasty. So for its part, it's kind of limping backwards from you, and it is going to, let me find it. I have to find the system for this. Sorry, did it go? I
Hopefully it's not that nasty horn gift.
It is going to lower its head and charge. Since I can't find the system, I'm just going to roll it as like adding 2 to the damage pool, or what I normally would. So that's 4 successes to hit. Are you going to spend your rage action to attempt to dodge?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your Dex Athletics.
My athletics is 2 in this form. Dex is 6, so 8. 8, 10, 6, 7, 1. Are you kidding me? Does lightning? Well, no. Lightning reflexes would it still cancel out the success because 4 ones.
Damn. So you don't botch, but you don't get out of the way in time.
No.
So 3 let's do is that's. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Tell me about it.
So 7, please.
I'm gonna try.
You can do it. I believe in you. If not, you got rage healing. Oh
Take
dear.
5.
So you take 5 aggravated as its horns gore into Cole's side.
Mm.
And that takes us to the top of the round.
I believe we can reflexively make a roll to try and heal.
That's for lethal, unless you have, I think it's combat healing. Let me double check because I know this is in the book.
Oh, is it dealing ag?
It is dealing ag.
Oh, gross.
Because this is a very nasty femorai.
I think you're right. I think that is just for lethal.
Yeah, we were reading it yesterday. Because it's weird. I don't know. It's weird if it doesn't, like, if there's no way to heal ag in combat. Damage activated. Healing. Guru cannot regenerate aggravated damage with anything like the same speed. A character heals 1 health level of aggravated damage each day as long as she spends her time resting in a form that normally regenerates. So I do not think you can heal that in combat, but you can heal out of combat. But you can spend willpower to ignore wound penalties.
Yeah.
For the round.
Yep.
Okay. And you'll get a rage back for taking damage.
Yep.
Would you like to spend that rage?
We're at the top of the round, so yeah, I'm gonna spend 2 rage, which puts me down to just the 1.
Yep.
And I am spending a willpower to ignore wound penalties. And let us pray that I can get this through. Going for a bite.
Okay, go ahead and roll it. It is not going to dodge this time.
That is, yeah, no, it's a fail because the 10 explodes, but the 1s cancel it out.
Oh dear. So as Cole leaps, his jaws snapping just to the side of this creature, it rears back. There's not much intelligence in its eyes. Cole can tell even through the rage that he's rapidly building up in his system. But there is some sort of like bestial malice in its eyes. And it is going to go for another bite as it just kind of rears back for a second and then leaps at him for another bite.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just gonna, yeah.
You're going to spend one of your rage actions to attempt to dodge.
I kind of have to.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna die.
You got this.
That's
You're an
8.
You got this.
8 die at diff 6. I'll knock 4 of those out.
Okay. So that's. Are you kidding me? Okay. Soak 5, please.
Soak 5.
Yes! You got it. and it is onto your rage action.
Rage action. I'm
Feeling
going
it.
to bite it.
You got
Bite
this.
it. That is 5 successes. 4 plus 1 for biting is 5. Plus 6 strength is 11. D10 less than or equal to 6. Soak 6.
Okay, you got this. Okay, it took 2.
It's on 7.
It is on. It's actually lower than that. You're getting it.
Okay.
And that is back to top of the round.
I can't spend rage, and my totem dictates that I have to kill this or die.
God damn that totem.
Yep.
It's like Fenris. You don't take that totem because it gets you killed.
Hey, in the wise words of a D&D character, I didn't make this character to be a bitch.
Okay, this is fair. Are you going to spend willpower to ignore wound penalties?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is your action.
4. That is going to be 10d10 to attack at diff 5. 8 success. So does 10 explode?
It is not going to dodge.
Excellent. 7 plus 1 is 8 plus strength is 14. 6. Come on. 7.
Okay. Statistically, you are almost certain to at least almost kill it this round. If not, straight up kill it. Okay, that is 4 damage. You have it on 1 health level.
Come on, man. All it has to do is deal 2 to kill me.
It is on 1 health level.
Yeah.
For its action, it is as you leaped at it to bite it this time, you tore off a big chunk of its side, revealing its ribs. It turns and it starts running.
Oh, on my turn, I'm going to catch up and bite it.
Okay, go for it.
5 successes because 10s explode.
Go ahead and roll the damage.
4, 5, 6, and 11. D10 equals 2, 6, 7. There we go.
Okay, how do you want to do this?
So it's running away, and Cole is not a bitch. So he barrels into its side, knocking it onto its side. All manner of leaves and brush flying and sliding, revealing dirt and grass. He buries his muzzle into the exposed ribs, gnashing past bone and guts, ripping it out and casting it aside as the limbs of this gnarled beast wildly kick for its life, until ultimately it has lost enough guts to not be able to kick.
Yes. And at that, after a certain point, the kicks are just, muscle memory, because it dies about a minute and a half into the savaging that Cole is giving it. And after that, it's just a couple of twitches, but after that, it's not moving anymore.
So, from here, Cole is going to shift up to Krynos. He's going to take his sweet ass time. He's going to go back for the cloth that he dropped when he was barreled into initially, in his left hand, and with his right, he's going to grab this beast by the horn and drag it back to Sept.
Okay.
He's not going to take it. He's not going to take it on Sept. He's going to drop it at the Bawn.
With common sense, you would remember that the flowers, and you would think that you could probably wrap him up in the cloth to take everything back at once.
Yes. Yep. Thank
Okay.
you. Yep. He's gonna do that as well.
That's what common sense is for, so don't forget things.
Yeah, buddy.
And ironically, you find the patch of flowers like right outside this beast's lair. Is where a big old patch of these herbs were.
Mhm.
Almost like it was guarding them. But when you drag it back to the edge of the bond and drop it, a very small female lupus form watches you drag the beast up and then just darts away. And a few minutes later, some more guardians appear. And one of them will take you to get cleansed before you come on the sept.
Mhm.
Like that, they'll take you off to the side and perform the rite of cleansing and everything.
Excellent. In the time between the small lupus and the guardian's arrival, and as well as the time spent dragging this corpse back to the edge of the bond, he will spit a lot.
Okay. So, after you get cleansed, the guardian who cleansed you will just ask what you want done, if you would like anything special done with the corpse.
This beast prowled out in a cave, and he talks about the distance. He's like, this far out from Sept, there was a cave with the gnarled corpse of a deer and this cloth, some flesh of a human. This beast, I care very little for what's left of it. I imagine the Theurges may need it for their strange rituals.
And then the guardian will nod and go off to grab the rites master, who will show up fairly soon after. Looking, as always, unperturbed by the situation. She'll just walk up and say, "Well, you certainly looked like you got yourself in a good scrap."
And he smiles with his lips closed, not wanting to bare teeth and show a rude gesture.
Okay. She will just walk up to him and gesture. "Go ahead and shift back into Hamid so we can converse properly." And she'll lay her hand on his shoulder as she said, or on his shoulder as she says this. And your rage is 6, correct?
Yes, but it's currently at 1.
Okay. Well, I think this goes off of permanent.
Okay.
And bump that ag down to 2 aggravated as she grandmother's touches you.
Ooh, hot diggity.
The way that's phrased sounds really weird, but you know what I mean.
Don't touch me, Grandma.
But yes, just this feeling of peace and serenity washes over Cole. Probably kind of a weird feeling for a Fenrir. Arun, as she, is speaking to him, and he feels his wounds knitting themselves closed, or most of them at least.
Oh, he took 5 in one hit, didn't he?
Yes.
That's over his stamina. He gets a scar for that.
All right, I'll let you.
Yeah, I'll say he'll politely ask Israel, please leave the scar.
And she'll nod, and she will adjust the usage of her gift so it doesn't take the scar away. And I'll let you decide how the scar looks. And she will just lead him on sept.
And he will dutifully follow.
She will lead him. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say he, would have, similar to the Guardians, gestured and mentioned that, like, this is yours for your rituals, if you want it.
And she will thank him and just say, "Well, we may have some use for it. I don't think I've seen a Flamoria like that before. The worm's getting inventive." And she just her lip slightly curls as she says that. And then she leads him back to the Theurge's training grounds, and she'll take the herbs from him there, and she'll just ask, "What is this cloth?"
I think it may have belonged to a traveler, a human, I think. It was in this beast's lair, a cave this far away from Sept. It was covered in moss, and beneath it was what appeared to be the remains of said traveler, a hand, a decomposing hand.
She will nod and she will say, we will say a prayer to Mother Gaia for their soul. And thank you for acquiring the herbs, Snow. Go get something to eat. You look like you need it. And she kind of smiles, and it's a surprisingly warm smile for, an elder, kind of grumpy old lady. It's a surprisingly warm smile.
And he fully bows his head and says, thank you, Raya.
And she will smile and then wave as she heads into the Thaurge's area.
Cole will head off to find a nice stack of meat.
Yes. In at the edge of the secondary training grounds, sort of closer to the edge of it, towards the middle of the sept, there in between that and the Tailsinger's Hall, there's a bunch of kinfolk who are cooking food, and there is a stack of raw meat that is being left for the lupus that prefer such, and as well as they're making stew today. So whichever he would like.
He'll take a modest amount of the raw meat set for the lupus, and he'll do so very calmly, coolly, collectedly, and then thank the kinfolk and head very far away from them to eat, as he's fully aware of the effects of his rage.
Okay. The kinfolk do seem they're not necessarily wary, but they do seem very, very overly respectful to him when he's around, like almost too respectful, like, please don't kill us. Please don't kill us. And he's able to get his food and go off to eat in peace.
Mm.
And if there's nothing else you'd like to do, we can end the scene there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as our scene closes, the mists descending as the sun sets on the evening, and the sept of the Hunter's Dale winds down from the day's activity, we flash back to the forest and the beast's cave as a suited man walks through the cave, shaking his head at the blood and the various signs of a struggle, and just says, well, better luck next time, I suppose. And that is where we will end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. Stay tuned for more.